Question number 9, the Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Primary Industries. Does he stand by all his statements?
Honourable Nathan Guy.
Yes. Unlike the press statement issued by the member last week that claimed that...
Order. The member has now answered the question. On supplementary question? Supplementary question, Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Does he stand by his statement, quote, "New Zealand is a trading nation. We live off our exports," unquote? And if so, given the recent dents to our export reputation as seen with kiwi fruit, melamine, DCD, meat exports, palm kernel and now Fonterra whey contamination, why has he cut MPI's budget by $26 million?
Honourable Nathan Guy.
Yes, I stand by those statements, and indeed if the member actually takes some time to consider about the benefits of the merger, he would realise that some of those cost changes are realised because there's only one chief executive now. There aren't 3 IT systems, there aren't 3 finance systems, and by and large the merger is going very well.
Supplementary, Mr Speaker.
Order. Supplementary question, Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Mr Speaker. Given the recent biosecurity incursions of PSA and the giant white butterfly, failures in the meat and dairy industries, and the cost of those to horticulture and agriculture, does he consider the disestablishment of the independent agencies Biosecurity New Zealand and the Food Safety Authority to have been a major mistake, and the formation of one super ministry to be a complete failure? And if not, why not?
No, I don't agree with that member's assertion, because the laws that actually control the standards are set in the processes that they go through will not change as a result of the merger. The other comment I would make to the member is he should have a look across the Tasman, because the Department of Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry in Australia, DAF, is structured the same as it is here.
Mr Speaker, supplementary
question, Damien O'Connor.
Has he seen recent reports by MPI on MPI that state, firstly, it needs to strengthen its documentation practices, secondly, its resourcing needs to keep pace with the requirements of China, thirdly, it needs to define its criteria for when risks are notified and escalated, and fourthly, it's underprepared for potential incursions from high-risk organisms? And if he has read them, does he feel his oversight of the ministry to be a failure, and that he should take some action to justify his role as Minister for Primary Industries?
Honourable Nathan Guy.
Mr Speaker, I disagree with a lot of the assertions by the member. In particular, if he took some time to read through the China Meat Review report, he would find that it wasn't a result of the lack of funding or the merger, it was because of a result of a certification issue involving a human error. As a result of that review, there are some changes now that are being worked through a 25-point plan.
Supplementary
question, Honourable David Cunliffe.
Mr Speaker, to the Minister, does the Minister stand by his statement of 15 June 2013 that the Snapper 1 fish stock is, quote, rebuilding well and is, quote, growing and in good health? And if so, why is he consulting on slashing the recreational snapper bag limit from 9 fish a day to just 3?
Honourable Nathan Guy.
Mr Speaker, as the member should know if he read the information booklet, there are a variety of options that are being consulted on, and there's no predetermination, and we need to work through those results that are underpinned by science, because MPI and NIWA do a lot of science, and I'm looking forward to receiving those submissions and making a decision in due course.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, the Honourable David
Mr Speaker, in regard to those options, does the Minister stand by his statement of 15 June 2013 when he said that he would consult on, quote, decreases to both commercial and recreational limits, close quote, when in fact all of the options that he is now consulting on require major cuts to the public take and none whatsoever to any commercial take?
Honourable
Mr. Speaker, the member is getting ahead of himself. This is a consultation period. The member needs to encourage his constituents to put a submission in, and then, in a timely manner, there will be a decision. None of these options have been ruled in or ruled out. These are through a proper consultation process.
Mr. Speaker, was the minister getting ahead of himself when he changed his mind, or were the 350 angry New Zealanders who packed a Hall and Thames school last night absolutely furious at the proposed cuts? And was National MP Scott Simpson getting ahead of himself when he told the meeting that he disagreed with the minister's proposals and that he would be lobbying him to reverse them? And if so, can he confirm whether Mr Simpson has yet actually lobbied him? Was he successful, and will it be enough to allow the minister to save his job?
Honourable Nathan Guy.
I realise that this is an extremely important issue. I also realise that Snapper 1 is important to recreational fishers. It's important to commercial fishers, and it's also important to customary and iwi. And these proposals need to be worked through in a considered way. There's way too much rhetoric in this debate, and I encourage people to put a submission in by August the 23rd so all of their views can be considered.
Supplementary question, Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Further to the minister's answer to the first supplementary question as to savings and MPI being in part from only having one chief executive, when did the policy of the government change to have MPI pay for the chief executive and not State Service Commission?
Honourable Nathan
That's
Guy.
a bizarre question, Mr Speaker. What I was saying there in answer to that question was, as a result of bringing the three entities together, that there has only needed to be one Director General, and as a result there have been savings as a result of that merger.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Point of order. Order. Point of order, Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, I think it was a relatively simple question, and that was when did the policy change to have it come out of the MPI budget? That question was not addressed.
No, but there was more to the question. That's the difficulty. If the member
Mr Speaker, all it was further to his answer. When did that occur? There was only one leg to the question.
To move the matter forward, I'm going to invite the member to ask the question that he originally asked.
And this is my best attempt because it's not written down, sir. Further to his answer to the first supplementary question with regard to the savings being from the salary of the chief executive, when did the policy of the government change in order to have the funds come from MPI and not State Service Commission?
Honourable Nathan Guy.
In answer to the savings, what I said to the member is that part of those savings are as a result of only having one Director General from the three entities coming together. There are also savings that I explained because the IT systems only require one, financial management systems, and the list goes on.
Question number 10, Nikki Wagner.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the